you're Dr. Maria Arboleda. You're the medical director of Chiron.
Right.
And so tell me about your role. What is your role going to be?
I can tell you a little bit about my background, and then I can explain what my role is.
Perfect.
Yes, so I'm proud Colombian, as you're seeing. Well, I did med school in Colombia, then I moved to Mexico City. I was there for around 6 years.
Okay. Do you have a specialty in medicine?
I'm an anesthesiologist, and I'm a pain and palliative care physician.
Oh, so that's the connection with...
So then I came to Canada, to Montreal. I was at McGill University. I came to do a fellowship.
Yeah, your English is unbelievable.
Oh, no, thank you. No,
Better than Ed's.
We can speak in French
way
if you
better
want
than
to.
yours.
French.
And way better than yours. Okay.
Anyways, I'm just
Soft.
joking. Yeah, no, so I was at McGill for 2 years and a little bit more.
Yes.
And that's where I got involved in all this medical cannabis research. I've been also working with this clinic in Montreal that is called Santé Cannabis, which is one of the leading specialized cannabis clinics in Canada. And that's how I got basically involved in all these, not only medical cannabis program where we see patients for different medical conditions, but also research. Research like clinical trials with patients. My line of research has been always towards advanced cancer patients because of the palliative care background and chronic pain patients. So that's how I met Chiron when I was up in Montreal. And that's how I started first as a medical advisor and then now as a medical director. So coming to your question regarding what is the role of the medical director in Chiron, it's basically, I would divide it in 3 parts. First part is more regarding the training of my colleagues, training of doctors down in Latin America. As you can see, Chiron is a leading company right now, not only in Colombia, but in Latin America, from Mexico down to Chile, Argentina, etc. So we are committed to the training of doctors. We're the only company right now that has the endorsement of 4 medical associations in Colombia. We have the endorsement and support of the Colombian Association of Neurology, Colombian Association of Internal Medicine. We're working towards the Colombian Association of Pain and Palliative Care. So basically that's very important for us as doctors to receive some support from the medical associations where we go to medical conferences and we start the training of doctors. Because, you know, in Chiron we're working from the seat to the patient, right? And we're not only happy to have a good quality product, but we also need to train doctors. If you have a good quality product and doctors don't know how to prescribe, so that's important, and that's why we're working on this training of doctors. Second part is the clinics, where we are developing specialized cannabis clinics from the experience that we have from the Canadian model and the Canadian experience, obviously adapting this to the Colombian reality, Latin American cultural beliefs.
And you have formal relationships with the 2 main medical associations in Colombia. There's been an announcement to that effect, right?
Yeah, she was just saying that they have 4 endorsements from the 4 medical associations in Colombia.
Right.
And
the third part that I was saying, so the training, second part will be the clinics, and the third part will be the research, because we need to develop research with local patients and with local products in Colombia, right? I mean, you know that Canada, Israel are leading countries when we talk about research, and all this development of research. Canada and Israel are leading that. But in Colombia, we have Invima, which is kind of the Health Canada entity. It's obviously asking for local data from patients from Colombia with medical conditions in Colombia. So we're starting also this research development with our own patients in our own clinics, and also with prestigious universities in Colombia to develop research with all of these different medical conditions, epilepsy, chronic pain, dermatological conditions,
What has been your experience thus far with using cannabinoids to treat palliatively cancer patients with advanced cancer states?
Okay, that's a great question. As I was saying, I was in Montreal. At this clinic, we've seen more than 5,000 patients, so there's many different medical conditions. Of course, cancer, advanced cancer, and palliative care is my I would say strength in that way. When we use medical cannabis for palliative care patients, what we're trying to do is important to understand that cannabis is not the miracle drug. Cannabis is an option, is a complement, or is an adjunct to what the patient is receiving, right? So if a patient has a terminal or advanced cancer or any palliative care condition, what we're trying to do is helping the quality of life of those patients through symptom management. For instance, if a patient has cancer and they have insomnia, they're not sleeping well, they have pain, they have anxiety, they have lack of appetite, nausea and vomiting associated to chemotherapy, etc., what we're looking for is to treat those symptoms, to help them with those symptoms. So that's what we're using cannabis for. We're not pretending that we're going to replace everything else, that cannabis is going to be the solution for all the problems the patient has, but at least is a complementary treatment that we can consider. And that's part of what we need to do in terms of training and educating our doctors and educating our patients, because if we don't educate patients, well, that's also an issue, right? We need to mitigate some expectations. There are patients coming to the office saying, oh, I'm here because I want to get cured. And unfortunately, we don't have that evidence yet to say that cannabis can cure patients with cancer.
Yeah, but it helps with pain, obviously.
It helps with the symptoms.
And people that sometimes can't eat,
exactly.
They can eat.
Exactly.
I mean, it does do some things that...
No, that's what I mean, exactly. It improves the quality of life of those patients.
Absolutely.
They're having more appetite, they're having less anxiety, they're sleeping better, less pain, etc., etc. So if you're a patient dealing with all these symptoms, of course, cannabis could be an option.
Sure. How many patients in Colombia do you think there are who are candidates to either participate in the research or to otherwise use cannabis for whatever medical condition?
So far we know, like in Latin America, let's say broad, we say that we have around 620 million people that could benefit from medical cannabis, and specifically in Colombia, we're talking about 48 million people that could benefit from medical cannabis. Again, medical cannabis is not for everyone.
Right.
There are specific indications and contraindications.
So basically, when you say 620 million people, are you talking South America?
No, in Latin America, you're going from Mexico to Argentina.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So
so Central America plus South America.
Plus Mexico, which is in North America.
Mexico, right. Okay.
So we have all these possibilities. Obviously, Mexico is a huge market.
Sure.
As I was telling you, I lived in Mexico for around 6 years, and I know also how it works, how the system works there, and I know obviously how the system works in Colombia. Even though we're in Latin America, we're different. So you know, we need to adapt all this Canadian model to Latin America, also adapting it to the cultural beliefs and adapting these to the needs of patients in Latin America.
Right. Okay, well that's great, Maria. We're going to leave it there for now and come back to you when you next visit Canada. We're going to come and see you down in Latin America.